Da-da-da.
Hello and welcome to the crossover, where nothing is out of bounds and everything is fair game. We have a lot to cover with you today, but first, let's check in with the Tunnel Crew. Please give a warm welcome to Stacks, Aggie P, Rooftop, TP, and Big T.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to At Home with the Crossover. I'm your man, Big T, alongside my tag team partners, the usual cast of characters. We start off with none other than the queen, the doctor, the first lady. Mama is in the house. TP, what's going on? Hey, and then we move on to Birdman, the man that is, he's one of the biggest Eagle fans we know. He's a huge Laker fan, Wake Forest fan. He's always repping his team. Give him some credit for that. Bird, what's going on?
Hey, better luck next season, Eagles. Still fly, Eagles fly.
Then we got the man that brings ag swag to the show each and every week. He's wearing that blue and gold right now.
Yes.
Hey, as a polo shirt.
Yes, Aggie Pride, Big G.
Still Aggie colors. We're talking about Aggie P is in the house. Aggie P, what's up?
Hey, brother, Aggie Pride is nationwide.
Then, of course, we got Radar Charles in the house. I know he got them sunglasses on, looking like he blind as a bat. Radar Charles, what's up?
You know what? I wish I was blind when, having to look at you with those tacky hats on,
Yeah,
but now is the way. When the show is underway, sir. I'm just happy to be here.
There you go. Well, and tonight on At Home with the Crossover, we're gonna recap the Super Wild Card weekend. We're gonna look ahead to the divisional playoffs coming up this weekend, and we got some other stories in sports we'll talk about. But first, we welcome back our man. He's the biggest Canes fan that we all know. He's the longest standing season ticket holder in Carolina Hurricanes history. And we're talking about none other than Larry. And he's here as usual to join us and talk about all things Carolina Hurricanes and NHL. He's our Carolina Hurricanes correspondent. Larry, thanks for joining us once again. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, Larry.
Feels like it's been a long time because, we took that holiday break, so we hadn't talked to you since November. What's going on?
It's been a long time. It's been too long, guys.
I know, man.
I appreciate you having me back.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back, and we'll go ahead and jump right on into it. We won't leave people waiting here. So the Canes, like we said, we haven't talked to you since November. So since November, they went on a little slide towards the end of November, but since, that slide coming back after Thanksgiving, they've gone 10-3, Larry. Now, They've had a lot of COVID, pauses and things like that. And, so there's been a lot of stuff like that has kept the record from being more robust. But 10-3 is not bad. So go ahead and let us know what the Canes have been doing to, keep this hot streak going.
Well, it's been interesting. Even though they've lost a lot of players because of COVID and illness and all kinds of things, they have found all of these young players from our AHL affiliate in Chicago, and they have made names for themselves, and that makes the team that much stronger. The one of the games, we had the option of canceling because of COVID, and our general manager said, no, I want to see what these young players can do. And there were 3 or 4 on the ice, and one of them scored 2 goals, and they are hot as a firecracker, and Chicago Wolves are hot as a firecracker as well, and that's good for the team.
Yeah.
And let me say, I've looked at some stats. We have lost 10 games. We've lost 2 in overtime, and we've lost 8 regular season games without overtime. Of those 10 games, 7 of these were by 1 goal that we lost. Okay. We are staying in every game until last week when we got beat by Columbus 6-0. but
Mhm.
that was kind of like a fluke, really. So um, we really are a good team, and there's a lot of potential there to get into the finals.
Mm.
Let me mention one thing that's going on right now in Boston. We are playing Boston tonight,
Mhm.
and the first black NHL player was Willie O'Rees, and he
Okay.
played for Boston between 1958 and 1961. His number is being retired and entered into the rafters in Boston.
I,
His number was 22.
I
So
heard
that's a
about that.
milestone, I think, and that's an important thing to remember tonight.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard about that. I
Yeah,
remember I
yeah,
heard about
it's a
that
big
not
deal.
too long ago, and I said, "Wow, that's all right, man, brother playing back in the 50s."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And he said it wasn't too much fun.
I bet.
As you can imagine.
Well,
So,
you mentioned the statistics, and I was doing a little digging and looking up some things for the Canes, and I noticed that there are several statistics that they are, number one in. They're best in
yep,
penalty kills,
right,
best in goals allowed,
right.
and best in shots on goals allowed. Uh,
Yes.
all of those are defensive categories. And, they made the moves in the offseason, made some changes on the defensive line, and it's definitely paying off.
Yeah. Yeah. We lost Hamilton and we were worried about losing Hamilton, but
Mm-hmm.
we picked up some players who um, they play hard.
Mm-hmm.
They they don't score goals like Hamilton used to, but they play hard and they won't let the other team into their zone
Yeah.
without a fight.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see a penalty kill and them line up on the blue line. There's four of them right there lining up, and they just don't let them in.
Yeah.
And that's why we're number one in penalty kill.
There you
It's
go.
incredible.
Hey, anybody else from Tunnel Crew got a question for Larry?
Sure, Larry. How is the attendance at the games now?
Well, our attendance is running around 75 to 80% at least.
Okay.
And there have been numerous sellouts this year. The general
Okay.
manager has really changed the arena and has changed the momentum. The excitement is there. You go out into the concourse and it's busy. There's always a line to get into the store to buy stuff, and it's great. It's a wonderful atmosphere to go to a game.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Quick question, Larry. The goalie situation for Carolina has been interesting to say the least. And they got this kid from Minnesota,
Yes.
Jack LaFontaine, and
Correct.
from the University of Minnesota, and they signed him to an entry-level contract. And the thing that I want to ask you about before you could talk about his play on the ice and how he's been doing and everything, but the thing that I want to talk about is his some of the negative comments that are being made. So there are a lot of Minnesota members from the Minnesota fan base that are saying he's selfish, for leaving Minnesota high and dry and going to play with the Canes and everything. What do you think about people attacking this young man for taking this
I think
opportunity?
every person has to make their own decision about that. And he spoke to that, and he did not take it lightly. He took it very seriously and did not just respond immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it, the kid is 24 years old. And he was named the best college goalie year before last.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a bright future in front of him. And when opportunity knocks, sometimes you just have to take it.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And if you think about it, if you're a kid in college and you're a goalie and you want to be in the NHL and that's what you're aspiring to go to,
Mm-hmm.
and an NHL team comes along out of the blue and says, we need you for our backup goalie, and we'll sign you to an entry-level contract right now. It's a huge decision, but there have been a lot of football players who have left college and they've gone back and got their degree.
Yep.
I mean, if he really wants a degree, he can get a degree.
That's right.
And so, for him, it's the right decision. And I don't think people should criticize him. Just leave him alone. Let him do his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, anybody else got a question for Larry?
I want to know, Larry, all those moves you made. Do you think that they're backfiring on you right now? Because when y'all backslid there and you weren't able to come on the show, we weren't able to confront you about those moves. Because I called you the Jerry Jones of NHL. So I just wanted to ask, do you regret any of those moves right now?
You can always look back and regret things.
Absolutely.
Hey, what? We have to move forward.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Hey, and they're 10-3, right, Larry?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Rumors.
I'm just glad Big T got it right this time, Larry. He at least gave you some respect on the record.
Rumors are out there that we're going to make some more trades. So rumors are floating around. I mean, our general manager always looks for improvement. And analytics has a lot to do with this.
Yeah.
And we were written up in the hockey news. Our analytics guy was a blogger, and he started recommending different players to get. And the coaching staff realized this. He is now the assistant general manager, and all he does is analytics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
it's like Moneyball.
So the guy landed a job from just being on the internet blogging about the team and talking about who they should get and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
Wow.
And you should see this guy. He's a real geek. I mean, he is definitely a geek. He knows how to look at all the stats and come up with all the suggestions. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Well, the Florida Panthers are currently number 1 in the East.
Yes.
And the Canes are right there behind them. I mean, they're not. What are they, second? I think the Canes are second in the East.
Well, no, because
they're fourth, aren't they? Fourth, aren't they?
Yeah, but the reason is we've only played 35 games. Florida's played 38.
That's right.
Canes played 40. So we've got some games in hand, but we have to win the games.
Yeah.
That's the important thing about that.
Well, how do you see things going the rest of the way, or at least until we talk to you again in February?
Oh, I think we're gonna start playing very well. We're gonna pick it up. We're gonna get through this COVID thing. Mm-hmm. We'll get the regular players back, and I think we're going to do very well. We're going to represent the Metropolitan Division very well. Okay. The problem is there are 7 teams within a point or two of us. So it's going to be hard, but we can do it.
Okay. All right. Hey, you got a hockey name of the day for us?
I got a great name for you.
Uh-oh.
Listen to this. Angus Crookshank. Angus Crookshank is the name. He's a left winger and plays in the Ottawa system.
Angus Crookshank.
Angus Crookshank. Is that not awesome?
That is a good one. Hey, like we say, hockey has the best name. Hey, Larry, we appreciate it. We're up against a hard break. Thanks for joining us, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, and when we come back, there'll be more of At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right. Welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And hey, be sure to catch Radar Charles every week, talking smack and doing what he does. And Birdman doing his thing, repping his Eagles and everything. Aggie P shouting out the Aggies with that Aggie pride. And of course, Dr. TP doing the same, repping those Aggies, as well as keeping us in line as the mama of the crew. And you can do that every Tuesday night live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel and look for the Crossover Sports Show live. And that's every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Be sure to tell all your friends about it, like, share, and subscribe to the show. And then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. It's 7 p.m. Thursday nights. And you can find that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. And that's Thursday night, 7 p.m. All right. So we wanted to get Larry in real quick. And we want to once again thank Larry for joining us and breaking down all things Carolina Hurricanes and NHL. Always good to catch up with Larry. And, I was so quick to get Larry in, I forgot to introduce the rest of us, namely myself. My name is Big T, and together we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel. It leads to the lines of competition in the world of sports. So we're the Tunnel Crew, everybody, and it's time for our hot topics. The hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we want to talk about. And we're going to kick off this edition of At Home with the Crossover with Super Wild Card Weekend. We want to recap everything that went down, and we're going to begin with the games that lacked any drama. We'll start with last night's 31-11. I think it was 31-11 win by the Rams. That was. The Cardinals look uninspired. Let's say that. I think it was 28-0 to start the game off. Kyler Murray just couldn't get anything done. So, not much to be said there. And then wasn't much drama in that Philadelphia Bucks game, 31-15. The Bucks took care of business. Defending champs are moving on. Tom Brady threw 2 touchdowns, 1 to Gronk, and Birdman's favorite quarterback, Jalen Hurts, had 2 costly interceptions in the first half. So that game wasn't much to talk about. And then Kansas City jumped all over Pittsburgh, 42-21. Sorry, I know there's a lot of Steelers fans out there, but hey, Mahomes threw for over 400 yards, 404 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Travis Kelce had 5 catches, 108 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 passing touchdown. Mahomes became only the second quarterback in playoff history to have 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. You know who the other one is? Big Ben back in 2017, the guy that he was facing off against. So like we said, that game didn't have a lot of drama. Big Ben, we will mention this, though. Big Ben did finish his career. That was his last game, unless he changes his mind or something. That's supposed to be his last game. And he finished 5th in the NFL, 165 wins, 5th in yards passing, 8th in passing touchdowns with 418. So congratulations, Big Ben. Hope you enjoy retirement. Now let's move on to the games where there was some drama. Cincinnati, the Bengals facing the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Bengals hadn't won a playoff game in 31 years. 1991 was the last time they won a playoff game, y'all. 31 years. Then you sign a man by the name of Joe Burrow, come in smoking cigars and talking junk. Burrow is a cocky dude, man. That dude is cocky, and they get it done. The game was, back and forth, nip and tuck. I mean, they had a 10-point lead, but the Raiders kept fighting their way back. To the very end, Raiders had a chance to tie that thing, and Carr led them all the way down the field. He threw for over 300 yards and threw a pick right there in the end zone in the closing seconds to seal the deal. Bengals win it 23-16. Any thoughts on this Bengals-Raiders game from the Tunnel Crew?
Well, Big T, you're correct. Joe Burrow is a cocky young man, but he puts the numbers up and he plays well. So, hey, you can be like that if you can back it up.
That's right.
I thought he played an excellent game. For the Raiders, my man Brandon, A&T, football player playing strong side tackle radar. I just felt bad for him. I wanted him to go on to another round, but it didn't happen. But great game. Joe showed us that he's, in my eyes, he keep going, man. He could be the next Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I know they're saying a lot, but he has that swagger about him, and he backs up, what he can do. So great game. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
And to Aggie P's point, I like players who play with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
They got something to prove. They play with a different type of energy. And they galvanize the players around them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of player Philadelphia needs. Somebody who can galvanize the players,
Well, I was going to say this. We're giving Joe Burrow a lot of credit here too, and I give Joe Burrow all the credit in the world too. But I want to shout out Jermaine Pratt, High Point. He graduated from my school, High Point Central Bison. Let's go. You balled out, man. You are the unsung hero of the Bengals. You balled out in that game, man. Give Joe Burrow all that credit, but come on,
some local love. I like that. Yeah. Little local love.
Anywho, we're gonna move on. Let's move on to the Aggies. I just want to say shout out to Brandon. I thought he had a great season. I really thought that he had an amazing season, especially because he came from a rookie and you can see how he is progressing. So, and it's not just for Brandon. I just want to give a shout out to anyone who went to a HBCU and has progressed throughout this whole season. So all people who went to a HBCU, because it is not easy. It is not easy. So I just want to give a shout out to there. I thought that, of course, I was hoping that the Raiders would get it, but I was rooting a bit for the Bengals too. But I knew I was just going for the home team for the Raiders. So yeah.
Well, hey, and like we said, Joe Burrow is a cocky guy. He threw two touchdowns. Jamar Chase is cocky too. I mean, the guy had 9 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. That's a Bengals playoff record, y'all, for a rookie receiver. Did y'all see the touchdown pass that Burrow threw to Tyler Boyd right before the half was over? It was amazing because he was running towards the sideline, looked like he had stepped out. I mean, I thought he said when he threw it, I said, "Oh yeah, he's out," And then they went back. No, it wasn't even close to being out, but it looked like he threw. They tell you not to throw back across the grain, and he threw across the grain and hit him in the back of the end zone. And I was like, "Wow, man, that guy's something special." And to talk about the cockiness. So after the game was over, they asked him about winning their first playoff game, 31 years and all that stuff, and he said, "It's exciting, but it's not the icing on the cake. It's just the cake."
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, does this guy know he's only a second-year quarterback, man?
Not in his mind, Big T. Hey, he talking and playing like he's been in the league 5-6 years. But like we talk about it all the time, man. Athletes, you have to have an ego.
Yeah.
I mean, but sometimes some of them egos get out of control. But I mean, when you go to that level, college level, and on to the pros, I mean, you have to carry some ego with you.
Yeah,
if
that's
not,
true.
Man, you would get ate up. I mean, you wouldn't make it out there because you're the best of the best.
Exactly. Well, and I know this game didn't have drama, but I want to go back just because it had a little bit of historical significance. So, the Bills absolutely crushed New England 47-17. The 30-point loss was Bill Belichick's worst playoff loss ever, and it was his second worst loss, period. And the Bills beat them 31-0 years ago when Tom Brady was there, and beat them by 30 on Saturday. So the Bills are becoming a little bit of a nemesis for Bill Belichick there. But in that game, Matt, you had New England just looking like you've never seen New England look. And I know they've got rookie quarterback and everything, but he threw 2 interceptions, and Josh Allen became the first quarterback ever in the playoffs to have 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 60 yards rushing. And, Buffalo is 8-0 when they force 2 turnovers or more this season. So going into this weekend's games, keep that in mind. If Buffalo forces more than 2 turnovers against Mahomes, hey, they 8-0 this year when they do that. So like we said, that game didn't have any drama, 47-17, but, there was just the historical significance of Belichick and the Patriots just getting manhandled. Now let's move on to the game everybody really wants to talk about. We know the game everybody really wants to talk about, and that was the 49ers and the Cowboys. And the 49ers upset Dallas and Big D 23-17. They led 16-7 at the half and scored on their first 4 possessions. They didn't punt the ball, y'all, until 7 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third quarter. That was the first time they punted in the game. And Dallas averaged 407 yards a game on offense. That's number 1 in the league. They only had 125 yards in total offense midway through the third quarter. Let's talk about this game. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and we're gonna break down, a little in small bite-sized pieces, what happened here. So, and like we said, Dallas trailed all day, but I give them credit. They managed to come back and get back in the game and had a chance to win it at the end. And that was fluky. I mean, because the measurement on the 4th and 1 and all that stuff, that was... So for them to even have a shot, but we all know what happened. Dak, they basically have no timeouts left. I guess under 20 seconds left. Dak drops back the pass, takes off running, and slides, gets up, holds the ball, gives it to his center. The ref comes running up, bumps into the center trying to get the ball because the rules say the ref has to touch the ball. And by the time they get it set and snap the ball, clock's out. It's at zeros. They complain. Mike McCarthy said we should have had no problem getting that ball snapped, blah, blah, blah. Whose fault is it that they didn't get that ball off? Is it the ref's fault? Is it Dak's fault? There are a lot of people saying it's McCarthy's fault for making that play. Whose fault is it, Tunnel Crew?
It's Dak's fault, man. It's Dak. You are a quarterback, sir. I apologize, Aggie Pete. You're a quarterback. I was 4th string quarterback, and I knew give the ball to ref before you hike the ball. You play in the NFL? Come on,
right.
Tell me something, man.
Radar, did you just say you was a quarterback?
I was a quarterback, 4th string.
Where in the
that often. But man, I was a good backup. I knew what to do.
I thought 4th string was emergency, man. No roster keeps 4 quarterbacks. I thought that was the emergency QB.
Sir, they needed one. They needed one. Everybody's playing both ways. But you're
Aggie-
supposed to know that, right, Aggie P?
Yeah, but my thing, Radar, my only question, I haven't found this answer out, and maybe the Tunnel crew can answer this. I just want to know who called, was that a design play, a quarterback draw, or did he run because he didn't have anybody open?
I don't think it was a design.
I never could figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think it was designed. I think he just took off because it was wide open. The thing is, like Romo was saying on the broadcast, you've got to slide with 10 seconds left. You got to give yourself time. You know, I mean, a few, like 3 or 4 extra yards is not going to matter. You know, go ahead and slide, get the ball snapped so you can run one more play, throw it to the end zone. So
We got to talk about this some more.
Yeah, we will. We're going to take a break right now. And when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and their mess up. And that's going to lead us into the question of the day. But hey, first, remember, you can catch us live every Tuesday night on YouTube, 7 p.m. Catch all the members of the Tunnel crew and be sure to like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. 7 p.m. on the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. And then be sure to catch on Thursday nights the audio version, the original crossover sports show, 7 p.m. on WLJFradio.com. When we come back, it's time for the question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. 1 church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
Hey, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And be sure to catch this live at home edition of the Crossover Tuesday nights is the time, 7 p.m. is the time. And the place is YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. And then on Thursday nights, catch the original audio version of the show. And you can catch that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. And that's Thursday nights at 7 p.m. for the audio version of the original crossover sports show. All right, TP, do we have any social media shout outs or comments that we want to recognize?
Yes, first I want to thank all of our YouTube listeners. I can see all of you who are signed in, all of you who are supporting us. So I want to give a big shout out to you as well as to everyone who's listening to us on the radio. So shout out to you. Small Wonder is just laughing, saying we're doing an amazing job, especially with our comments to one another. So we'll give a shout out to Small Wonder and also thank everybody who is supporting the crossover and the Tunnel crew.
All right. Thank you, TP. We appreciate it and appreciate all the listeners and support. We really do appreciate you. All right, let us get back into our talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And I just want to say something before I hand it off to the Tunnel crew, let y'all have at it. Tony Romo said something that I thought, man, that's a really good assessment. He said, usually your biggest weakness is what will beat you, you know? And I think even though a lot of people are blaming Dak and blaming that play call, blaming the ref for running up at the last minute and bumping into the center and everything, I think Romo had a good point because Dallas is last in the league in penalties. And you know what they had on in that game on Sunday? 14 penalties. That was most in Cowboys postseason history, and it was second most in NFL playoff history. So Romo said your biggest weakness will eventually beat you. And I think the penalties factor in a lot more than people are saying. So let's continue to chop it up and talk about it. We're going to take maybe another 2 minutes, and then we're going to jump into the question of the day. But, you know, your thoughts on what happened. I mean, you know, San Francisco was physical, and Dallas didn't respond. Tony Crew, your thoughts?
Well, Big T, I totally agree with you. I was going to bring that point up, you know, about the penalties. I mean, if you take away all the penalties and as bad as Dallas played, Dallas would have won the game.
Yeah.
And then also, I know a couple, I think about 4 or 5 shows back, you asked about offensive line holding.
That's right.
Number 52 on the Dallas team holds the record for the most holds during the season. So, I mean, if that is their weakness, I mean, it showed. Did you see the guy bear hug the guy?
Yep, I saw.
The defensive lineman bear hugged the offensive lineman and took him to the ground.
Yeah.
Big T, I mean, Radar, TP, Birdman, y'all help me.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand holding, but bear hugging a guy and taking him to the ground. I mean, you know, what coach teaches you that?
Well,
I mean,
and they had the one penalty too where they had picked up a first down, but I think there was a guy that did an unnecessary block, you know, because it didn't have anything to do with springing the guy, and that ended up bringing them back. I was just like, man, they had a lot of boneheaded penalties.
They did, and like I said, I think even as bad as Dallas played, and this is to all the Dallas fans, hey, I think they would have won the game if they didn't have all of those penalties. Because they came at crucial times.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so that, you know, it's a whole lot of stuff we can look at with the Dallas Cowboys, but that's the one thing that stood out for me.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, Aggie, because I must apologize. I don't mean to come off as if it was his fault, but I do think at the end of the day, when you know you're the quarterback, you got to take a certain onus on what's going on the field. And it leads to discipline. Belichick, Brady, those guys, they had discipline. They don't play at certain times, and they know what to do under pressure and in the moment. Yeah. And he cracked. He choked. Yeah. Even you knew Ezekiel Elliott wasn't going to show up. And he made that run at the end, and not to say, hey, let me get that ball to the guy so we can stop the clock and keep this thing running, because we're at home. We're the favorites.
Yeah.
And you lay a goose egg, because everybody in the stands was like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like they could not believe it. Yeah. They were in awe. And I was like,
it's a lot of stuff we can point out. I mean,
and they lost their biggest rusher. They lost Bosa before the half. How do you not capitalize on Bosa not being in the game? And then they lost another linebacker who was a starter, and they still was getting out. They weren't physical enough.
Yeah, they lost Fred Warner also. So I mean, well, and we know give San Francisco credit. I mean, San Francisco has been one of the most physical teams in football, and if not for injuries, the 49ers, you know, they just went to the big game. What was it, 2 years ago? You know, so and then last year they were just decimated with injuries, and even this year they dealt with a lot of injuries. So we know, and a lot of experts have said, when San Francisco is completely healthy, they're one of the scariest teams in the NFC, and they proved that on Saturday in Green Bay. Hey, they got their attention, you know. Okay, so that leads to this, because we've been talking about Dallas. Yo, Aggie P, what's up?
One quick thing. I just want to put
Go
this
ahead.
out there too. And Jimmy G almost gave it away.
He did.
I mean, I don't like him. He's not a good quarterback to me. I said, now when is he going to give this game away? He almost gave it away.
He did. Well, and you know what? And you know, it goes back to the big game against Kansas City when he had the guy streaking wide open. If you hit him, they win the game, you know. So yeah, he's got to be able to finish those games, or else he's gonna always have that label of, you know, can't come through in the clutch. So
exactly.
All right. So everything we've talked about here, talking about the Cowboys and everything, it leads to our question of the day. The question of the day is this: we know we got a lot of Cowboy fans listen to this show, and there's a lot of Cowboy fans, period. You know, and they've been in misery the last couple of days. Where does Dallas go from here? You know, I mean, there's been a lot of talk of they should fire Mike McCarthy. Is Dak the answer? Should they get rid of Amari Cooper? You know, Ezekiel Elliott is getting shut down. And, you know, you got three guys right there that I just mentioned, guaranteed contracts that are eating up some money. I mean, I think I saw where he said Ezekiel Elliott's making like 50-something million guaranteed. You know, so there's a lot of money tied up in those three guys I just mentioned. So the question of the day, where does Dallas go from here? Bird, you were saying pre-show you had something that you were burning about, you wanted to get off. So we're going to start with you. Go ahead, Bird.
So I think that as a recurring theme this weekend has been the coaches. It's been coaching. And so I think that what Dallas needs to do is reevaluate your coaching situation. Look at Mike McCarthy. There's no way in the world that you know the rule book as a coach. You know that the quarterback is supposed to give it to the umpire. Stop making excuses in the press conference after the game saying, oh, well, you know, that's bogus. I don't understand that. No, you did understand it. You just tried to make him do too much as a quarterback so you could try to win the game. And Dallas has always been like that in the postseason. They have a good season, win the division. And then when they get to the postseason, they try to be the hero and run up against a team that just cleans their clock like the 49ers did.
All right, next.
Well, I mean, since we're talking coaching, I'm gonna be with Birdman, but my question is, you know, in the Dallas organization, and everybody know here, McCarthy, you know, is he really a true head coach? You know, who's running things? Because we all know the man, not the Lord, but Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
the man upstairs, he makes a lot of the calls on who does what.
Yeah.
So, you know, like he's been questionable all year, you know, when the 2-minute drill come and when they call a timeout and all of that. Is he the one that's supposed to call a timeout? Or is it this new kid they trying to say that's good, the offensive coordinator, or is he the one that's running the show? So, I mean, Big T, man, we can stay on here 2 hours talking about these sorry Cowboys. I mean, it's so much, y'all. But, you know, I just want to piggyback on what Bird said. Hey, it could be the coach.
I agree, Aggie, but I put one caveat on it, and I said this, I think at the beginning of last year. Y'all need to let go of Ezekiel Elliott. They need to cut that dude right now while the cutting is good. That dude is good and terrible. I would trade him before I trade Ed McCaffrey.
What?
I'm sorry.
You talking about McCaffrey
from Carolina?
From Carolina, yeah.
Right, with all the hamstring issues. Get out of here, bro. He's more worried about getting his face pierced than getting rushing yards. Got the thing in his nose and then his ears and then in his cheek. I said, come on, man, you rushing or you trying to be cute?
So I guess what we're saying is they need a new coaching staff and they need to get rid of.
They need a new running back.
A new running back.
New running back. I told you we could go on and on, man.
Tony Pollard is way better than Zeke on average.
And he cheaper.
Hey, TP, jump on in here. Your thoughts.
Thank you. I've been trying to talk for the last 15 minutes. So I've been trying to talk the last 15 minutes. So I appreciate it. What I was going to say is that I feel like, you know, for the question of the day, you're asking like pretty much where do we go from here? I'm feeling like you need to look at everybody from the ownership down because, you know, when you look at every piece of it, is Jerry Jones trying to tell some of the coaches of what they need to do. It goes kind of back what Aggie P was saying, who's really in charge? Because we know that Jerry Jones likes to run things. We know that the coach is trying to do plays as well. Dak can't do but so much, because if he continues to do stuff that is against what the coaches are saying, we know that he's gonna get traded. Because let's really look at it. It's a Jerry Jones thing. So that's why I said I feel like you need to look at everybody. That last play was ridiculous. No, I've not seen that in history where somebody just ran out of time to not even at least just throw it down or something. Some type of communication went down from there. And Stephen A. Smith, he was having a field day.
Oh, yes, he was.
He loves it when Dallas loses, man.
And he came back off in COVID break.
Yeah.
This past Monday with Dallas. Man, it was a perfect timing. I was in here just rolling.
Well, and here's what's funny about him is he always says when things are going good for Dallas and they are all the fans or the people on ESPN to get on, he always says, wait a minute, they're gonna let you down. It's gonna happen. And I know they hate it when it happens because they know they're gonna hear it from him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like everybody said, there's a lot of issues. Go ahead, TP.
Well, I wanted to say that our listeners are definitely agreeing with us, Miss Pamela Palmer and Small Wonder. They are definitely agreeing with us. They said you hit on the head, sir, Big T. Absolutely. Wow. The last comment, I think Aggie P said, they say, yep. So, they are definitely agreeing with us when it comes to Dallas, when it comes to the organization and all.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, and it's sometimes things are kind of obvious. It's kind of clear. So after the game was over, they caught Jerry Jones in the halls like they usually do and asked him some questions. And they said, how disappointed are you? Is this the most disappointed you? He said, well, yeah, this is the most disappointed, and when you got a team with the players we have, with the roster we have, we know that the NFL is designed to take take players away from the best teams and help the weak teams. So our window is very small. It's now, and so we got to seize the opportunity. So I was sitting there laughing because I was like, yeah, he's telling the truth. I mean, the window is true now, and if you don't do something, and I'm thinking, the coach, I mean, we saw what happened ever since McCarthy left Green Bay. They've done nothing but go to NFC championship game after NFC championship game. So, maybe there's some truth to that. Hey, everybody, be sure to catch this live at home edition of the Crossover every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Tell all your friends about it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. It can be found online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both in Google Play and on the iTunes Store. When we come back, it is time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown, INSNCRVICE or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. A couple of quick mentions here. The Lakers got blown out by 37 points by the Utah Jazz. The Denver Nuggets, and Magic Johnson tweeting, talking about we effort is something we can't stand as Laker fans, and apologizing to Jeannie Buss, the owner, and and then you got Russell Westbrook saying Magic's not even around the team, so he's entitled to his opinion, but he's not around the team. He don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Of course, we know street clothes, as Charles Barkley calls them, AD's still out. We talked about Lakers for the season. It's kind of going the way we thought it would. So, and KD, it was announced yesterday he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. So they got Kyrie Irving back for road games just in time. And Draymond Green has been out. He's going to be out a little bit longer. They extended his injury status. He'll be out for 2 more weeks. And the Golden State Warriors have lost 5 out of their last 6. So they're having a little bit of chemistry issues between him and Klay Thompson since Klay's come back. Steph Curry and Klay. They had a little situation on the court at one point where they didn't hit it off too well. So that's quick mentions. All right, let's get into our picks and standings and all that stuff. It's time to see what happened last week. So last week we picked all NFL playoff games, and Radar went 6-0. Birdman and Bro, he led the way. He was the man, undefeated. Birdman and Bro Mel went 5-1. Me, Aggie P, and TP all went 4-2. Stats bringing up the rear at 3-3. So let's take a look at the overall standings for this year. Radar is on top at 8-2. Me and Bro Mel are tied at 7-3. Aggie P, Birdman, and TP all at 6-4. And Stats is bringing up the rear at 5-5. All right, the games for this week look like this. We're taking all of the divisional playoff games: Bengals at Titans, 49ers at Packers, Rams at Bucks, and Bills at Chiefs. And then we had to take one of the remaining 2 since we had Larry on tonight. We're doing an NHL pick, Rangers at the Canes on Friday night, and then NC State women hosting number 3 Louisville. NC State is number 4, and that game is Thursday night. And I'll go ahead and read off the Tunnel Crew members who aren't here. Stats took the Bengals, 49ers, Bucks, Bills, and Canes. Carolina Hurricanes, that is. Bromel took the Bengals, Packers, Buccaneers, Bills, and the NC State women. All right, Aggie P, give us yours, sir.
Titans, Packers, Rams, Chiefs, and the Canes.
All right, Birdman.
Bengals, 49ers, Rams, Bills, and the Canes.
All right, Radar.
All right, Titans, Packers, Rams, Bills, and Canes.
And TP.
Bengals, Packers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, and North Carolina State women.
All right, and I took all the favorites in the NFL: Titans, Packers, Bucks, Chiefs, and I took the NC State women. I felt a little bit more confident in them over Louisville than I did the Canes over the Rangers. All right, it's time for shout outs or shut up and play candidates. And we'll start with Birdman.
All right, shout out to my Eagles once again. You got there and then you lost to the GOAT, but better luck next season.
You had an emotional pick last week, or you would have went 6-0. Only team he picked last week, everybody, was the Eagles, and that cost him. He went 5-1.
Ooh, get him every time.
Don't worry about it, Birdman. I do it all the time.
All right, Aggie P.
Oh, shut up and play, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's that simple. The effort was terrible. You was undisciplined. You 2-minute drill. Everybody know the referee got to touch the ball. I mean, just shut up and play.
All right, Radar.
I like to give a shout out to all the 4th-string quarterbacks out there that did get on the field. Hey, get it any way you can. The weekend warriors. That's my shout out to you.
TP.
I want to give a shut up and play to LeBron for having the stat sheet right beside Westbrook in the game. I feel like you're micromanaging to pick what you're going to do. You're going to coach. Are you going to micromanage? You're just micromanaging too much. So
yeah, say shut up and play. That's a good one. Hey, I got a shout out for Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, everybody knows he's been with Detroit forever. I think 160 plus games as a starting quarterback, and he finally got his first playoff win last night in that obliteration of the Arizona Cardinals. All right, everybody, hey, good show. Dallas, hey, we'll see what happens. Look at Aggie Pete shaking his head. We'll see what happens. Hey, but that just about does it for this edition of At Home with the Crossover. For the Queen.
Blessings to everyone.
For Aggie P.
No weapon.
For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
For Birdman. Oh, Bird. I'm your man, Big T. Signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be you.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.